Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Thursday, the 31st day of August, 2023, the last day of August as the summer continues to slip by us and as we begin to move into fall next month. Coming to you, it is also Friday of the 21st week of the year, the 21st week in Ordinary Time. Coming to you in front of, because I haven't done this yet, although this is our... let's see, it's been a week, it's been 2 weeks, 2 weeks and a day, 2 weeks and a way since we have started at the Franciscan School. But here is the great rock that stands in front of the main doors of our school, the Franciscan School. And it's, again, painted periodically by different families. Different students get a chance to be able to paint it. This rock was painted by our faculty before the beginning of the school year. And so it looks pretty amazing. So just if you haven't seen it yet, welcome back. It's painted on top and painted on all sides. St. Francis Rubio from the statue. The wind has come. Oh yes, again, and Hurricane Idalia was a bit of a bust. So many schools have closed, but the Franciscan School does not close. So whereas the public schools have closed in Wake County, North Carolina, and a lot of other counties in North Carolina, we are open because there's nothing happening. So this is where even one of our high schools closed. I mean, opened late today because I don't know why. But here's the great rock greeting our students as the school year begins once again. The readings for today on this Thursday of the 21st week of the year, Thessalonians continues, again, Paul writing, and it's interesting, the writing style that Paul uses is a writing style that would have been used in many kinds of correspondence in the first century. So it's not unique to Paul or unique to the New Testament. It's always important to realize that Paul is basically just adapting a sort of writing style, which is a little bit, it's saccharine, it's sentimental, it kind of, again, he gets across the information he has to, but there's a lot of sort of saccharine repeating about how much he adores the community and prays for the community and whatever. And so that's what this chapter, is about. And that Paul wishing for to be able to come to Thessalonica, to be able to remedy, as he says, deficiencies in the faith, whatever those were, it's not clear. But he's able to do so. And so he and, again, Silvanus and Timothy make their way to Thessalonica and be able to help clear up questions, I guess, or answer any kind of things that needed to be answered that have arisen as the people continue to grow in their faith and their understanding of the relationship with God. And so, the fact that, Paul wants to do that and is happy to do that, again, shows Paul's commitment to what it means to spread the gospel. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing much else is said about that. But the idea too is that, again, perhaps you could take away from this is that, again, we continue to grow in faith, and we do need to have people who sometimes help us to understand what it is that our faith is asking us to become or to do, or even what Jesus is saying in the writings that we have. Which is why we do have interpreters, why we do have preaching as a part of our liturgical experiences. In the gospel, we were out of Matthew for a while, I thought, but now we're back into Matthew. So again, the semi-continuous readings go a little bit all over the place, but we're in Matthew now for the next couple of days. And Jesus gives the great warning, admonition, encouragement to stay awake, to be awake and sober, to be vigilant, actually, because at the hour we do not know, the Master will return, the Son of Man will return. And then kind of gives the example of those servants who are constantly ready for the Master's return, and who will be rewarded, as opposed to those servants who spend this time when the Master's not around in having a party and having good times and things like that. And I guess, again, it's not to mean that you don't have good times, that you don't party or enjoy yourself or enjoy the world around us, but when you're doing it to perhaps excess, or you're doing it in some ways that begins to manipulate or abuse what it is that God has given us, then when the Master returns and you are not ready, again, you're brought to a place with a bunch of hypocrites because you did not necessarily follow what it is that God, wanted you to do as a person who waits for God's return. So, it's just, again, good advice, but also to remember that we are always people who have feet in both worlds, in this world and the world to come. That we are people who look forward to God's coming. We don't fear it. We don't stand in trepidation, but we are people who look to welcome it. And the conclusion, the fulfillment of all that God has promised is what we await. And we need to have courage to continue to await that, and the reality of awaiting that, and knowing that what we experience now is never the end, is never the final word in who and what we are, what we're meant to become, what our destiny is. Good news, for us again, to keep with us as we continue to go through our lives of faith. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.